Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 10th of April for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you a collective overview that we can all relate to, but please stay with me as I explore each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces in much greater detail. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new here, it's great to have you with us. This is very much a community, so please share any thoughts you have, and I'd be honoured if you would subscribe to the channel. So please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. However, if you would like to understand how more serious astrology can play a role in your life and your decision making, if you do give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can prepare for you your life roadmap report. This will help you to get a much more intimate understanding of the patterns that have played out so far, but how you can overcome the challenging ones and seize the more positive ones more firmly. Also, in my special package of 30% off, you can get your 12-month personal forecast, totally unique to you. Now please see below for more on that, but if you don't know your time, if you can give me your date of birth and your place of birth, I can produce your solar chart. This won't have an ascendant, it assumes the moon at midday, but if you really enjoy my YouTube videos, you can align it with your sun sign really well. And again, the special offer applies to that too. Again, please see below for more. Now this week begins with the Sun racing towards an exact conjunction with Jupiter in the sign of Aries. Now this is one of the best aspects you can possibly have in astrology. The Sun, of course, is about our raw energy and our desire to achieve things, but Jupiter is very much about expansion and it's about optimism, and it can in traditional astrology be linked to fortune. When we put the two together in the first zodiac sign of Aries, we're talking about the fire of that sign sparking greater confidence, momentum, thrust. So a lot of excitement reaches a peak on Tuesday. They're still going to be allied to one another really well right through this week. But if there is something you want to inject with fresh energy, this is a great time to do so. However, this can be a complex week for relationships, because Venus also moves on Tuesday into the sign of Gemini, where it's very flirty, very sociable, great for mixing and mingling, or even sending those cheeky text messages. But it forges a very profound link with Pluto for the rest of the week. So I feel that there can be conversations, because both are in air signs, which can help us to really understand who's really in our corner. But conversely, stern Saturn, very much to do with restrictions, is forging a tense right angle to Venus. So if there are any relationships in your world which aren't working very well, I think this is a week that's going to flag them up, despite the innate positivity of the Sun's conjunction with Jupiter. But there is another irony, because the North Node, obviously mainly usually reversing, forges a very stable link with Saturn. So if we've done something in the past which has been a good deed, we've helped someone, we've really invested in some way, perhaps even been generous around our resources, I think something can come back to us in a positive way. But the quarter moon, which occurs on Thursday, is in the sign of Capricorn. So those relationship snags may be around professional ties as much as personal ones. Jupiter's involved in that event too, so that's telling. And it's asking us really to stay grounded. For example, if we felt we had such a super duper idea and we really felt that everyone should be just in awe of its magnificence, the chances are that somebody in a position of influence, someone who's been around a bit longer, someone who's quite experienced, who could be important to the next phase of the development of this, whether it's the bank manager, a business advisor, an investor, someone in the family, or perhaps even a boss, it's important to keep those more traditional people on side. So we need to make sure that anything we are promising we can deliver on in a meaningful and tangible way, which is very Capricorn. However, by the end of this week, Mercury does just edge forwards, although it is slowing down, ready for its retrograde, which begins next week, into a conjunction with Uranus. So some kind of innovation or unusual idea around how to use our resources could manifest itself as this week draws to a close. But please stay with me as I go through each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. So Pisces, your week commencing the 10th of April forecast, brings into sharp focus the potential for a little bit of serendipity or good fortune around a financial matter. Now, it may be something as simple as finding some money in a coat pocket or down the back of the settee. Now, that may sound a little trivial and not as substantive as you would like, but when the Sun combines with Jupiter as it does, it rewards us for a lot of hard work and slog in a more substantive way. So although the vibe goes round that the Sun and Jupiter can be incredibly fortunate without any effort at all, and it can be, we're much likelier to get luckier the harder we work. But what you could do on Tuesday, I think, is really enjoy the good things in life, whether it's a nice glass of wine, a lovely meal, perhaps getting together with someone that you enjoy sharing these things with. Conviviality, particularly with a family member, could be something you appreciate, with Venus in such a powerful new location from Tuesday too, but linking to Pluto. Your appreciation of those deep roots, perhaps to your historical past, your early childhood, or even to friends that you've known many years, could see you feeling particularly nostalgic, but also remembering some good days too. What about Saturn in your sign in its clash with Venus? I think really and truly, Venus moving into the 4th house is going to give you a desire to make your home environment as comfortable and cozy as possible. If you're somewhere warmer, it may be that you want to apply the rather stylistic and artistry energy of Venus to your outdoor space. So it could be through planting some lovely and colourful shrubs, or some flowers that add charm to your immediate environment. So what Saturn does is come along and sees you being much more serious about the cost of this, or thinking that it's okay spending some money on a new sofa. What about if that makes it difficult to service some other kind of more everyday costs? So it's just preventing you, Saturn, I think, from being a little too frivolous around a home matter. Perhaps, for example, if you're thinking about a property purchase, that particular aspect is asking you to be very realistic about the long-term cost. Now, later this week, the North Node in the part of your horoscope that's to do with your ideas actually links very well with Saturn. Something that you have been developing an interest in, perhaps in terms of stimulating your mind over the last 18 months or so, you could really get a sense of how solid that's become. It's probably become quite a big component in your situation, very helpfully so. The quarter moon, however, on Thursday just suggests that if there is somebody around you who's trying to enthuse you about a get-rich-quick scheme, a business idea, perhaps sketched out on the back of a beer mat, I wouldn't dive into this opportunity too rapidly. Do your due diligence, because Jupiter can see us let our guard down. The good news for you, because Saturn's in your sign now, it is going to be a kind of a sentry around what you might try to do, and just guard you really from being so impulsive. But as the week draws to a close, Mercury links to Uranus, a lot of electric energy buzzing around, and you could decide to, after all, spend some money on a new mode of transport, some new tech, whether it's a laptop, a phone, a gadget, a place, some kind of play console. Those kind of things are probably miles out of date by saying that, but something along those kind of stimulating technological strands could really call out to you as this week draws to a close. But there could also be an unexpected text message or email which actually really delights you.